let's just clear it up right out the gate. I've been seeing comments about me selling shares. I've been seeing comments about me not being actually bullish anymore, about selling out, giving up on the people, forsaking the BNGO fellowship, the Sapphire. And I have to say right out of the gate, I have to put your minds at ease. I have not sold any shares. I do not plan on selling any shares, and I have never been more bullish. I don't say this on a whim. Okay, I'm sure there's also been people saying, "Oh, I'm sure it's green now. He's gonna pop up out of nowhere again, right? Because it's green." I have to show you. Yesterday, remember, I didn't take a break from posting. I took a break from daily streams. I still posted a video yesterday in the pre-market. I guess it was released after the pre-market, but during the pre-market, talking about if I thought we should be down or up based on the earnings report. Let's watch this real quick. I'm going to talk about those later, but earnings per share, to understand why this is an overreaction and why, in my opinion, yes, why we should be green. We should be green, okay? We should be, and that's 100% true. And I still believe that we haven't even really fully understood what we've got on the earnings report. And the reason is because you guys know, if you've been paying attention, you know that the reason why we've gone up today and yesterday, primarily yesterday, was not because of the earnings. It was because high growth skyrocketed along with everything else in the genomics and high growth sector. Okay? People still have not really warmed up to this earnings report. Not really at all. But I still believe, because remember the overreaction, as I just said in that clip of yesterday's video, it's a big overreaction on the expense side of things and the EPS side. We've seen what we want, which is great growth on the business expansion, revenue growth, Sapphire sales left and right, consumable revenue is increasing. We're getting into the diagnostic field, literally one of the largest diagnostic institutions we've gotten into. If we go to some of my other notes here, the earnings is good. Okay, please go watch the video if you don't believe me. Go watch the video yesterday. This talks about why earnings was good, and it was. We have not yet priced that in. However, I want to talk about right now today the news that we got, the recent news, and what my plan is. And let me just say right now so I don't forget it later. So I don't forget to say this. We're going back to normal streams next week, right? Okay, just like that. We're the weekend. Once the weekend's over, we're right back to normal. Right back to normal. Right back in the frying pan, man. Yeah, we're back, and I just needed a break. Okay, I've been saying. And let me go and clear that up as well. Right, you take 1 day off, 2 days off of streaming, and there's rumors that come up, man. But I get it. It's where we live, and I get it. I'm not complaining. I'm very thankful for what we have here. But I have to say, I just needed a little break. It's not like I was becoming more bearish or getting out of like the line of fire, you know. No, I said this from the very beginning, right when I saw this earnings report. I'm sure you guys remember. I was like, boom, yes, we got the revenue beat. Hell yes, that's the most important thing, and we got it. That's bullish. This has not made me more bearish on the company. I'm actually just as bullish now, if not a little bit more bullish than I was before this earnings report. It's not everything I wanted. I wish they were a little bit more optimistic with their Sapphire sales and what they and their enthusiasm. I wish they were a little bit more enthusiastic. It'd be great if they could tell us what's going on with the expenses a little bit more in detail. However, by and large, it's still pretty kick-ass it's still pretty kick-ass earnings. Still, right? 226% year-over-year growth is good, and that's enough about the earnings. Okay, you go watch the other video if you want to know about that. Right now, I want to talk about the news and what I see what is going on with the price action. But before we do that, one more time, ape language, to sum it up so there's no more confusion ever, okay? I took a 2-day break from streaming. A lot of people were freaking out, saying rumors, saying I was selling shares or I'm not bullish anymore, right? So that is debunked, right? You can see my order history, okay? There's no other YouTuber on the planet that shows you the damn order history. None. All right. Here you go. Here's mine, right? I've only bought shares and held shares, and I'm holding all 2,000 of mine right now, and I'm not selling anytime soon, man. That's as simple as it gets. Also, the schedule next week. It's literally going to be the same. We're back to it. And there's also some other news, actually, that I have to say at the end of the video, which is very cool. I'm very excited about it. And anyway, so with that being said, I'm sorry for all the wasting time today. It's going to be back to normal with, I had to clear up some rumors. Okay, so now talking about the actual news we got. CPT, proprietary analysis codes, these are, I wanted to bring this to your attention. These are happening, and they're flying under the radar again. Okay, they always do. This is the big thing that I think is going to help with the sale, or at least one of the big things that's going to help with the sales. Unfortunately, it's only going to start in October. We're not going to see the actual fruit of this for a while. However, once we get that quarter 4 earnings report, you're going to see sales reflect very nicely because partly of the reimbursements that are set up and that are going to happen most likely, partly because of this, which is the PLA codes becoming active, or effective, I should say. Yeah, effective date, becoming effective on October 1st, which if we go down here, let's go ahead and show that off real quick so I'm not making stuff up. There you go, October 1st. So keep that in the back of your mind, right? You think there's no catalyst coming up? You think the company's not doing anything, right? That's not true. Please watch the earnings video please watch the whole thing if you want to know what the catalysts are to look forward to. Now, talking about the institutional ownership, this thing is absolutely fucking skyrocketed since last video, right? This thing is now almost at 19%, 52 million shares owned by institutions. You got 147 institutions that are literally buying shares and not shorting at all. I'm not really freaking out about that. A lot of people are. A lot of people think it's super bullish. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but most stocks you find out there, even if it's a shitty stock, most of the institutions you find are going to be long, or, maybe not to this extent, but you get what I mean, right? Don't get super fixated on that. However, one thing to get fixated on are institutions like this. And this is what I'm really excited about. I've said this multiple times. The portfolio allocation of the institutions that hold a lot of BNGO shares. By and large, this doesn't look amazing, does it? Really. But when you look at this one institution, the ETF, the Healthcare Momentum ETF, having 4% of the portfolio nearly allocated to BNGO at an average price of $637, which we are currently below, right? We closed below that. Now we're at 624 because the after hours is nice. That's how the after hours is. That's how the price action goes. But that makes you feel very confident as a shareholder. We want to see more institution filings like that. And we are seeing a lot of institutions buy a ton of shares relative to the retail, relative to what we have. But if you look at the portfolio allocation, nothing is really that big. I mean, maybe these guys or these guys, they're close to 0.1%, but even then, it's like this barely affects their portfolio. 250,000 shares, this barely affects them. However, it will take it, right? It's a lot better than selling out. And if you look at most of these people that are actually selling out, they barely have any shares. This one has 113. For some reason, everybody who has less than 1,000 shares for the institutions, all of them are selling out recently. So that is bullish overall, slightly not amazing. Okay, nothing the price can react to, but take it for what it is. Institutional ownership, it has skyrocketed a couple percent in the last few days alone, or weeks alone, I should say. There is an interesting job listing here. I'm more excited by the stuff on the CLI lab development and the stuff they said they're going to do in earnings. Please watch the video if you have it. I'll have that in the card at some point. But the senior scientist technology development, this job listing here, I like. If you go down here, look at this. Just look at the first primary responsibility. Apply a diverse technical knowledge of engineering principles to a broad range of assignments, including but not limited to different flow cell material, broadening our core applications, integrating front and microfluidic processes. Now that sounds microfluidic. That sounds like the freaking nanonozzle patents that we used to have, that we used to go over left and right. And if you look down here a little bit more, look at this: design or desire to introduce, investigate, and evaluate high-impact, game-changing technologies. That could be the Sapphire 2.0. Actually, I do think this is the Sapphire 2.0, given the prototyping, preferred skill / ability there. I do think this is the Sapphire 2.0, but this could be anything, right? I don't want to get your hopes up. Again, please do your own research. Please make your own opinions. But this is what I think, and this is either Sapphire 2.0 or something better. Right, you probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, so and then remember that can happen at any point, and the possibility of that happening, the commercial release of the product that we all know I'm talking about. Please watch the nano nozzle series if you don't, by any chance. If that were to happen, we're gone. All right, simple as it gets, man. Also, we got this article come out, which is this article pretty much has zero information in it. It's talking about there's nothing here. It says yet the annual revenue has remained relatively flat at 10 million since 2018. Yeah, well, watch what the annual revenue is this year, you bitch. Okay. There's no valid points there's nothing interesting really in here either way, so I just thought I would throw that. That is news, though. That is another article. I'm not going to go over that. Feel free to read that, though. And then you have this article, Faster and Better Clinical Outcomes Make the Case for Bionano Genomics. This one has some more interesting points in here. Obviously, this is a very bullish article, right? This is an opportunity for folks who have been waiting, who have been sitting on the sidelines to start accumulating the stock, right, at 592. That's what the price they're talking about. We're still pretty much, we're a little higher than that, right? We're at 630, but we're relatively in that range. It's a bullish article. We'll take it. It's better than a bearish article. But what I actually like is that they're acknowledging that we do have a range of conditions that can be detected through structural variations, and there is a diagnostic realm and market for us to take. It's noting all the benefits for a report that only took 1 week with the Sapphire compared to 4 weeks with the traditional methods, right? That was ALL, the ALL disease that the CEO was talking about a couple days ago in the earnings report. And it's just more proof of concept and stuff like this. Find me an article like this, but is the inverse of what this one is, which would be something that says the sapphire sucks and it has nothing to do with it doesn't have any advantages and it's not going to get any sales. There's no reason why we're not going to get 10,000 sapphires installed down the line sometime. I'm not saying it's going to happen in even 1 year or 5 years, right? That's more of a 10-year target. But once that happens, you're making billions in profit, and the price is going to be way higher than what you are at today, right? I'm talking 10 billion market cap, 20, 30, 50 billion market cap, right? 900% to 1,900% is what the article the other day gave us for $120 a share. That's where we would be going up, right? Something around in that range, 900 to 2,000%, somewhere like that. That's how much you'd be going up. If you have that as a high percentage of your portfolio, you can imagine what kind of returns you're making. But that's obviously a risk. Make your own decisions, though. I'm bullish. You guys know what I'm doing, okay? And then there was an unusual option activity insight here. I don't really pay much attention to these usually, but I thought I would throw it in here. Okay, the sentiment is bearish. So, take it for what it is if you care about that. So, yeah, I'm not trying to just show you the one side, right? If there's something bearish, I'm not just going to ignore it for you, right? And no, that's not. I try my best to not do that and be as unbiased and objective as I can, right? No one can be perfect in eliminating bias, but we try to do what we can there. So that is bearish. So take that for what it is, right? And then I wanted to end it by talking about the S&P 500 returns here. We are in August. We are in the death and carnage months for the market, and it's been very weird the last few days. The high growth sector has literally just done that. At least yesterday it did. And we are in. I just want to. I am a kind of a bear on the broader markets. However, I'm not a bear whatsoever on Bionano, especially long term. If we do get a market crash, I'm throwing all my UVXY profits back into BNGO. You can bet. You better be damn sure that's what I'm going to do. But we are now in the second worst market on average for the S&P 500 performance. Heading in, we're in August. We're heading into September. That's, take it for what it is, right? So everybody be aware of that. If you're going to not have any buying power, you make sure you understand the risks of that, okay? Now, my account and my portfolio, there you go. I'm not going to do technical analysis today. We will probably do a technical analysis on Sunday. Okay, before next week starts, I'll get everyone prepared kind of what we're looking at, and it is looking pretty good. We did break out of we finally we broke out of the descending level of resistance, and now the next step is setting a higher high above 912. And even if we don't do that, okay, remember, technicals, take them with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, the sales and the company's actions is going to determine its price in the long run. Whether or not high growth will help us or hurt us short term, a little bit impertinent, one might say. Now there's the portfolio. Okay, so to sum it up, right? We're going back to normal streams next week, and I'm not anymore bearish. I'm not bearish. I'm bullish, right? I got more confident in the company and my long-term outlook down the line, definitely after the recent earnings report. If you want to know why, watch the last video. Okay, I'm not going to repeat all the reasons at the end of the video. And now I have the other piece of news, if you remember, that I'm going to unveil to you, right? So basically, Newsweed is going to be a sponsor of this channel now. Okay, now what does this mean? Brand, are you selling out? Are you becoming rich? Are you becoming a celebrity? No, okay, nothing, I wish, nothing of the sort. But Newsweed is going to be a sponsor of us. So basically, yeah, he's a sponsor. So feel free to check out his YouTube channel. Feel free to check out his company. I shouldn't say Mark's. Newsweed. Mark is the owner of this company, and he's the 1 million shareholder owner of BNGO. He has 1 million shares, millions of dollars in BNGO, and feel free to check his stuff out. Okay, and there's a link in the description and for his YouTube and his website here. So thank y'all so much. This is not financial advice. I will see y'all in the next one.